Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Devvon Terrell in raw form, and welcome to another Help Me Devvon raw tutorial. And today, in this Help Me Devvon tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to fix harshness in your vocal recordings. I'm going to assume if you stumbled upon this video that you have harshness in your vocals or some type of sound source, and you're trying to figure out how to fix that. So let's get right to it. So right here, I have a vocal, and it's harsh. There's a certain harshness to it. The only thing that's on this vocal right now is just a little bit of compression, and that is it. So this is a vocal recording that's straight out the gate. Listen to what this vocal sounds like. Let's understand and feel what this vocal feels like.
I know you got a pass, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I be your friend, never pretend. Treat you like the mother niggas in your bed, shawty.
Okay, so you can hear that this vocal is harsh. There is some harshness to this vocal, and I'm going to assume that you have run into this issue as well, more or less, as far as the range of how much harshness is on yours. I noticed that I get more harshness when I hit bigger or louder notes. I noticed that resonance, it starts to really hurt my ear. How do we fix this? How do we approach this? How do we identify where the problem is? How do we do this? So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you guys to comment, like, and subscribe to keep this channel going. Also, I'm going to ask you guys to go on over to helpmedevvon.info at any time during this tutorial to get some of our goodies, presets, vocal chains, for a bunch of different DAWs to support the channel. Let's get back to the tutorial. Okay, so there's two ways that you can approach this. One is EQ, and another is de-essing. I'm going to show you the EQ way first. I'm going to show you the de-esser way next. Then I'm going to show you a combination of the EQ and de-esser and how powerful that can be to get rid of your harshness. And then I'll also show you a little special trick for to make it even easier. You'll see when I got you. All right, cool. So now let's go on over to our EQ. So the first technique we're going to do to try to get rid of this harshness is the EQ. So let's look at this again. Let's look at this vocal within the premise of our actual FabFilter Pro Q EQ.
I know you got a pass, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I hear that harshness, I feel it, and I'm trying to figure out to myself, where does it reside? So the way I usually like to do it is, typically when I hear my ear is very accustomed to hearing harshness in the sense of knowing where it is. I can feel like the harshness is coming from that like 3 kilohertz range in a sense. And that's where I feel like the resonance is coming from. That's one place that I can identify. So of course, I don't know exactly where it is within that 3 kilohertz range, but if you train your ear hard enough, you can kind of identify problem areas. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to start to train yourself with problem areas. With my training and hearing it myself, I can tell that 3K range, I have a problem, and that's a lot of times where harshness will reside in your vocal, depending on your microphone and source. Okay, cool. So how do I find it? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an EQ at the 3 kilohertz range. I'm going to do something a little taboo. A lot of people are not big fans of sweeping. Well, when it comes to me, I am a fan of sweeping. I'm a fan of sweeping when I know I'm looking for within a certain spectrum. The problem is I don't like when people turn up the EQ, start to sweep for the problem, not even identifying, well, what am I looking for? As opposed to you're throwing it up and you're just like, oh, that sounds bad, notch. Oh, that sounds bad. I'm actually identifying, hey, I hear a frequency that I feel like has too much resonance. I'm going to go within that spot where I feel like it is, find it, and notch. That's how I like to go about my sweeping when I'm looking for this type of stuff. All right, so let's sweep. Let's start from down here. I know it's in that 1K to 4K range where some of that harshness is residing. I'm going to crank it. Let's start down here.
I know you got a pass, always ending up in blast.
Do you feel it starting to hurt? That's how I know, oh, I'm getting close. I feel like I'm in that range.
I know you got a pass, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy.
And we found it. And boy, does that hurt. This is what I call the pain frequency. Luckily for us, it happens to be right at the 3000 hertz range. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this and I'm going to notch this out. Let's notch this out.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings. If you feeling me, treat me like the man.
Didn't that sound a lot more lighter on your ear? In that small little moment of us notching that frequency out, just a lot of that, you start to feel like, oh, it feels a lot lighter on my ear. Let's bypass it back and forth so you can really hear what just happened. So check this out. So without first.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings. If you feeling me, treat me like the man guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I be your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bad shot.
It just feels like this tinniness, this hunkiness that exists in that 3 kilohertz range, and we notch that stuff out, and it's a lot more easier to listen to, and so your listener can probably endure listening to that sound a lot longer, as opposed to subconsciously they just kind of say, I'm tired of this song, I don't like this song, because it hurts, it's resonance. All right. I feel like I heard a little bit of a boxiness tone as well in this. So I'm going to find that. And that is a form of harshness as well. There's a certain boxiness that I don't like that I feel like has some resonance in the lower end of the spectrum, probably within that like 600 hertz range to 300 hertz range. So I'm going to find that resonance there as well and bring that out as well. So let's check it out. So that's how I do it. I identify my problem areas and then I sweep to find the exact locations and then I pull them out. So let's find it within this problem area over here. So I'm going to start at the 300 hertz range. Let's make it real tight on the Q.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings. If you feeling me, treat me like the man guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I be your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bad shawty.
So I feel it at the 350. I feel the most boxiness at this 350 range.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast.
So I'm gonna notch some of that out right now.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings. If you feeling me, treat me like the man guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you.
Okay, now let's bypass this whole thing back and forth and let's see what we got. So without first.
I know you got a past. Always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings. If you feeling me, treat me like the man guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I be your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bad shawty.
So it's a lot easier to listen to. Is it absolutely perfect at this point? Absolutely not. But did we get rid of some of that resonance that was bothering us in that range? Absolutely. Now, granted, I can go back on over to the 2K to 4K, that kind of range, and even notch out some more because I still do hear some of that harshness. But I just wanted to show you quickly, hey, this is how you can kind of find that area until it feels a lot more easier and lighter on your ear. So that when you do start compressing, when you do start adding and boosting EQs, at least you know that you're not building upon that resonance that is hurting and that's causing pain in your ear. Okay. The other technique that I want to show you guys is the Deesser route. So let's open up an R Deesser. I'll open up a simple one that a lot of us may commonly have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up one of my presets, my 3 kilohertz killer. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to that same frequency range that I found that issue. It was around that 3 kilohertz spot. I'm going to take this and then I'm going to explain to you the difference between using the Deesser and EQ. There's a big difference and you have to be careful in which one you choose to attack your problem. I'll explain to you in a second. Stay with me. Okay, so let's roll on over here to about that 3,500 hertz range and let's use this Deesser to kind of attack that problem that we're having. Let's put the threshold way up here. Let's put the range to about a -9. And all this means is, hey, anything that passes the threshold on your Deesser, I want you to knock it down about at most 9 dB. So anything that crosses the threshold of that specific frequency range that we have specified in our Deesser, the range is saying I will knock it down the most 9 dB. Understood? Okay. So depending on how I set this threshold right here, will basically let the range know what it should do and how much it should be compressing this specific frequency range here. Okay, cool. So let's give it a try.
I know you got a past, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I been your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bed, shawty. I wanna go slow with you, I don't wanna go too fast. Know you've been damaged.
Do you see how it attacks that moment, that harshness, that thing that's kind of buzzing in the air? You don't even realize it's really happening until it's gone. You're like, oh, that's so much easier to listen to. Check it out again. Without.
I know you got a past, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I been your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bed, shawty.
Now, granted, we can sit here and say, hey, that's a little bit too much that is taken out. Take the range, move it up a little bit. Tell it, hey, the most I want you to take out is 6 dB. Find the spot that makes sense for you. But man, does that really grab that frequency range that's causing that pain and pulling that thing down and really making the vocal feel a little bit tighter and a little bit more concise, so that when you add some compression later, you got a vocal that doesn't hurt my ears, that is really just cutting through and just feels good overall. This is extremely powerful to use, and the difference between using the EQ and the Deesser is that the Deesser is a momentary takeaway of that frequency range, as opposed to the EQ being a permanent takeaway. Think about it. That EQ sits, you take out the frequency, it's gone. Whether it's not so much of that resonance there, or if there's a lot of that resonance there. As opposed to the Deesser, if there is more of that resonance at certain moments, then it will work harder to take that stuff out. And if there's not much of that resonance there at that moment, it won't even try to actually pull that frequency out, meaning that that frequency, as far as that 3 kilohertz, will stay where it is. It won't compress it. As opposed to if it feels like, hey, that's a lot of it, it moves it. So you kind of got to choose, pick and choose what you feel will work best for your song. A lot of times, I'll be honest with you, I'll go for the Deesser from the very beginning, and then towards the end, if I feel like I still got a little bit of resonance, then I use the EQ kind of to clean things up a bit and kind of move things out the way. And that's what I use. So you can use this with each other, EQ and Deesser, or you can use them separately for whatever problems that you're facing with your vocal. This is really, really important to understand and to know, because this can make or break your song as far as how long people can deal with listening to it, and as far as when a master engineer gets it and tries to boost things, and there's harshness everywhere. So as a bonus, I'll show you guys one more thing. And the last thing I'm going to show you is something I didn't want to show you guys off rip, because I wanted you guys to understand the concept of taking frequencies away and de-essing. But there's an amazing plugin from Oak Sound called Soothe 2. And I'm a huge fan of this plugin. It's really good at getting rid of resonance. And there's so many different applications that it can be used for, from guitars to vocals to just any instrument or sound that you feel like has resonance. It does a really powerful job of kind of masking and getting rid of those frequencies, but still making the sound sound like its original sound source and retaining it. So let's give this a try. I'm going to do this as the default setting. Let's see what it sounds like with the absolute default setting.
I know you got a past, always ending up in blast. Girl, let go your feelings if you feeling me. Treat me like the bad guy, yeah. I ain't do shit to you, cause I been your friend, never pretend. Treat you like them other niggas in your bed, shawty.
So you can see right there, just from its natural setting, the Soothe 2 plugin just does a masterful job of just like, I'm gonna get rid of these frequencies and hold these down. It's really dope. I highly recommend the Soothe 2 plugin. Maybe I'll leave a description for it in the bottom. You can also go to my site, helpmedevvon.info, for a bunch of presets and things of that nature as well. So that was my tutorial on how to basically fix harsh vocals in your vocal recordings. I'm glad you watched it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you follow at helpmedevvon on the Instagram, and also make sure that you come on over to helpmedevvon.info at any time to get some of our presets, vocal chains, and all kinds of goodies for a variety of DAWs that I'm sure you have as well. Also, make sure you join our Discord community with a bunch of aspiring engineers and musicians like yourself to pick up some game and etc. That is all in the description below. And make sure you comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And until next time, you guys.